Clerk, could you call the roll?
A quorum is present for City Council, successor agency, Housing Authority, and Finance Authority.
Persons wishing to address the City Council on any item of today's agenda may do so at this time. Aye, please.
Mayor, City Council, council members, Councilmember District 3, Eloy. I'm doing great, thanks for asking. I'd like to take a few minutes today to discuss the item you have on your agenda today concerning the rent increases, which you adopted a temporary stopgap 45-day measure on March 5th this month. Before I want to tell you who I am, Chris McEntee, I'm a third-generation Inglewood resident, born in Sentinel Hospital, graduated Inglewood High. I went on to serve my country, and I still came back to this city, bought a house, and I'm happy to say I'm a homeowner in the same district. But I'm not here. I'm here to talk about the paradox of the success that this city is having with regard to the boom. Beautiful stadium, thanks to the mayor and city council and the Cronkies and the Chargers. This is all well and good, but the paradox of that effect is it leaves the gate open that and attempt to take advantage of the situation to their own benefit. As I've undoubtedly received letters, I know our councilman has, have no doubt that every other council person has been informed of how their rents have been increased 100%. I'd like to take a minute to just give the anatomy of one example that I know of that's documented, how this occurs. Before I say that, this is not directed against longtime homeowners or longtime rental owners who've been renting to citizens in this city for a long time. Speculators. This is also the anatomy of how a city begins to lose its soul. Already seen it happen in San Francisco. Ask anybody who had family in San Jose, Marin County. We're all familiar possibly with people in Santa Monica who've been chased out. Anyhow, November 28th, property in our district, this is just one example, changes hands where a speculator offers the owner unbelievable hundreds of thousands over the amount it's worth. Impossible to turn down that money. That happened November 28th, 2018, just this past year. Or the new property management company has even sent their new property manager to go inspect that property. Letters have already gone to its occupants just prior to Christmas, letting them know that their rents are going to be increased. In particular, in this example I'm citing, and I have documentation with me, rent was about $1,230, including the parking spot. The new rent was $2,200 plus another $150. Taking that rent, shooting right to 100%. Every tenant in that.
We're gonna have to wrap it up.
Okay, every tenant in that unit is affected by this. Now the coyote proof is in the letter that was sent to the company to ask them to move it, the increase back down to the 5% that was passed March 5th here. But their letter has already come back and said, no, sorry. Our rent increase went into effect March 1st, 4 days before. And our legal counsel has already told us that we're good. What am I here asking you in a plea to consider today? I think there's several ways this can be solved.
Okay, and Chris,
Firstly,
Chris, we can't do this. You can come back at the end. There'll be another minute.
Please consider moving the date to a retroactive date to anyone who's experienced this 6 months or beyond. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay, with that, we'll close public comment. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Move allow payments.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
City Council, successor agency, and Housing Authority members, Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. Consent calendar items 2 through 7.
So move.
Excuse me,
2 through-
wait a minute,
it's
hold on a
12.
second. Hold on a second. 2 through 12.
So moved. Second.
Man, they're like quick. Give a brother a chance to correct himself.
Council members, Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR1.
Staff report to provide a written update on the directions given by the City Council regarding the adoption of ordinance number 19-07, 45-day moratorium limiting rent increase on certain residential properties.
Is there a report, Mr. City Manager?
Yes, Ms. Melanie McDade, Executive Assistant to the City Manager and Mayor, and also Acting Housing Manager will give the staff report.
Pull the mic down.
Mayor and City Council, at our April 2nd council meeting, the city manager requested to extend the time to continue efforts to broaden the research of similar cities in Southern California to add to protection and support for senior renters and tenants, and compile more of a comprehensive information on rental increase limits. Mayor also wanted to add additional research for consideration on the following items. 1, programs to assist renters in moving to home ownership. 2, expand research on policies that protect the elderly as well as seniors age 55 years and older. 3, research to potentially expand rental assistance programs for both elderly and seniors. 4, additional research to provide consideration for implementing stronger protection policies for the disabled. 5, additional research to ensure that tenants will receive fair and viable relocation assistance. 6, additional research on just cause eviction process and policies. Final report is scheduled to be presented to the City Council on Tuesday, April 16th at 2 p.m.
Thank you, Ms. McDade. Mr. City Attorney, since the 45-day moratorium is on the agenda, this would be the time for there to be.
I'd like to make actually a motion, Mayor, if possible, to extend it for 60 days to receive that further information, and that way protect the residents in that time frame.
I'll second that. Madam Clerk?
Council members Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye, and that'll be the direction.
And Mayor, we also will welcome up public comments via emails or letters of correspondence of your recommendations or concerns that may be raised as well to this council.
And we're on notice that, putting the public on notice that on April 16th, the final report will be heard. All right, thank you. A1.
Thank you, Mayor. We had 2 closed session items. The first one was an arbitration. As to that, there's a request for a motion to reject the arbitrator's decision and to authorize the outside attorney to write a response and to allow the mayor to sign that response.
I so move. Second.
Madam Clerk?
Council members Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. A2.
I'm sorry, and then we also had CS2, which was Stacy Pruitt versus City of Inglewood. As to that matter, discussion was held and direction given to staff. As to A2, there's no other oral reports from the city attorney's office.
Thank you. CM1.
Report from the City Manager's Office. Thank you.
DC1.
No reports, thank you, Mayor.
CT1. Oh, hold on a second. You too. CT1.
Oh,
Monthly Treasurer's Report.
hold on, Mayor.
Want me to read it?
CT1, monthly treasurer's report for the month ending December 31st, 2018.
Receive and file. CT2.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I certainly want to congratulate the city on this City of Inglewood First-Time Home Buyers Program. That is just extraordinarily exceptional. And I'm hoping that a lot of folks would turn out for this because it said the City of Inglewood will be holding a lottery to award 5 to 6 first-time home buyers with up to $350,000.
You're going to preempt the
Towards
presentation.
the purchase of a single-family home or condominium located in the city of Inglewood. And of course, preference will be given to folks that live in Inglewood. Is this not the greatest city in the world or not?
Absolutely.
Well, everyone who thinks this is the greatest city, raise your hand. Okay. Now for the treasurer's report. Is as of December the 31st, 2018, the city of Inglewood have under investments for the city $107,213,915. And the gross investment interest earnings to service debt, to pay debt, was $4,400. And the interest earning was $68,094. For the successor agency, $51,637,445. And the interest to service debt, or pay debt, is $40,127. Housing Authority, $104,050. Public Finance Authority, $12,560,392. And the interest to service debt, $9,284. And the total cash and investments as of December the 31st, 2018, is $171,515,802. And there's reports on the counter for you to review on your own. Has wonderful charts that you can look at. You can see all of the details. And just to re-mention, the investment portfolio when I first became treasurer 31 years ago was $38,000. Sorry, $38 million. And now we have $171,515,802. The city certainly has progressed tremendously. Home values are just soaring. The one across the street from me is, I think they're asking $779,000 for it. They just finished remodeling it. So, you know, things are really going very well in the city, and interest rates are down, so this is a good time to refi and or to buy. And this first-time home buyers is just an excellent program to take advantage of. And also, with my 10 minutes left, I'm going to, I saw a 10 up there.
Minutes, seconds.
Oh, can I have 1 minute?
You can have 1 minute,
Thank you.
but it's going to come from Councilman Padilla.
Right to you.
I thought, I heard a second from Councilman Padilla. Oh, yeah, let's move on. For the workshop that's going to be on the 27th of April, at the end of the month, Saturday, we're going to have refreshments. The food's going to be great. Excellent speakers: Michelle Hicks from Hicks Realty Company, David Wilson from Primerica, Larry Springs from Service Realty Group, Lucille Blair from the Inglewood Park Cemetery, and we're going to have someone from the Campbell Allstate Insurance Company, Dr. Rosie Milligan, Business and Credit. We're going to have attorneys talking on wills and trusts and lending and debt. I mean, it's going to be information that it would cost you a fortune to pay for, and it's going to be absolutely free on the 27th of the month in Community Room A from 10 until 2 p.m. And also, we're going to be having raffles, great raffles, and I know I'm going to be depending on my good council people to help me out there. And I will be going to the regular stores, begging there also. And look at, thank you, Councilman. I see you raised your hand already. So it's going to be a great event. So I'm looking forward to everyone coming out to a great seminar in the greatest city in America. That concludes my comments.
Thank you. That was a filibuster, but it was well received. Okay, now we have a report on the first-time homebuyer program. Mr. City Manager?
Yes, Mayor and City Council. The city manager to present the report.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm here to announce the information workshop that we're having for the City of Inglewood First-Time Homebuyer Program. First, I'd just like to Try not to press too many buttons here. First, I'd like to review previous actions that were taken. On October 10th, 2017, staff was directed to create affordable housing programs using affordable housing bond funds. On August 21st, 2018, the first-time homebuyer program guidelines were approved. And as a quick refresher, the first-time homebuyer program first-time homebuyer program utilizes $2 million in housing bond funds to provide mortgage assistance to first-time homebuyers. This is for moderate-income households looking to purchase a home in the city of Inglewood. And the loan amounts will be recorded against the property as silent second deeds of trust. And the maximum loan amount is $350,000. The important part here is the preference, and that will be given to residents who live in the city of Inglewood. Now, residents will be defined as persons that have lived in the city of Inglewood continuously for 3 of the last 5 years. So basically, if you've lived in the city of Inglewood and for whatever reason you had to move out in the last 2 years, you will be considered a resident for this program, and you will consider to have a preference for this program. The information workshop will be on Monday, April 22nd at 6 o'clock p.m. It'll be here at Inglewood City Hall at Community Room A. We invite anyone interested to learn more about the program during this workshop. Flyers for the workshop in Spanish and English are on the table outside, as well as your chairs. We look forward to providing more information during this event. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And if there are no questions, thank you very much. Okay, CSA 2.
Monthly Treasurer's Report for the month ending December 31st, 2018.
Receive and file. We'll adjourn the successor agency. H2.
Monthly Treasurer's Report for the month ending December 31st, 2018.
We'll receive and file adjourn the Housing Authority. F1.
Monthly Treasurer's Report for the month ending December 31st, 2018.
Receive and file will adjourn the Inglewood Finance Authority. Public comments. Any persons wishing to address the City Council on any matter connected with city business not elsewhere considered on the agenda may do so at this time. 1 minute. Chris, this is time for you to finish up.
You can speak right here. Oh, you're next.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
Hello, my name's Tiffany Wallace. I'm a long-term resident of Inglewood, and I'm just here because I really want to emphasize the importance of rent control and housing really as being a human right, but rent control being a stepping stone towards everyone in Inglewood being able to get the housing that they need and deserve. This last weekend, we marched with the residents of 4949 West Century Boulevard who are being evicted and received a 60-day notice even during this moratorium to be evicted. And this is a story that's all too commonplace from the gentleman who spoke now and from a lot of other people. And I'm very glad that attention is being paid to seniors and the disabled. Too often they are mocked and ignored, and that's unfortunate. And it's a history that is what's happened in the city. But we have the ability as leaders in the city to forge a better life for the residents of Inglewood to ensure that renters are protected, not just seniors, not just disabled, but the youth, students, and low-income residents who comprise 60% of our city. I love Inglewood. I've been here since '91. I'm very proud to be here, and I hope that we can continue to help Inglewood as the development continues.
Thank you.
Can't echo what was just said loud enough, but I will. The bell has already rung. Council responded on March 5th, but I'll tell you, the bleeding already started before that, folks. Strongly urge you to reconsider the enforcement date of any ceiling you put on any future ceiling considered. I also would like to ask that during the 60-day extension that Councilman Morales asked for, also consider dates prior to March 5th for the ceiling to be placed on rents that have exceeded 50 or 60%.
Chris, I don't believe we have the power to make an ex post facto law, because then we could do it back to 2012 and drop rents back to 2012.
There could be, I could work with you, there could be
Chris,
considerations placed on that or
Chris,
restrictions.
we can't make ex post facto laws.
Well, I'm happy to work with the city council on other things. Again, this is how cities lose their soul. You know very well what happened in Santa Monica, I know, and there are numerous other examples of what's going to happen in Inglewood. We can already see the writing on the wall. Please do what you can, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You tell him, my man.
Mayor, members of the City Council, I'm Morris Griffin, better known as Big Money Griff, strong community activist, leader, and problem solver. And I rise today for the voiceless. And I would like to bring you this here piece to show you that after 1989, my landlord gives me a $5 handle for the toilet. And yet, at the same time, in this Section 8, they are charged when he raises the rent, the people have to pay that extra rent. So I would ask that there is something done with the county in regards to stopping them from raising the rent to the point that the people who are on Section 8 have to pay. But I rise today on behalf of all of us to say that I would like to see where we don't raise, where we put on a ballot measure where you cannot raise the rent for 5 years, and when you do raise the rent, you can raise it only 2 or 3%. You know and I know that when they raise the rent 5% every year, we only get paid 2 or 3% at best every 3 years. So where is the balance here? And so what I'm saying to you is that we have the power, unless we're going to be deaf, dumb, stupid, blind, and in denial of our power that we have. And I got the documentation of substantiation and verification of that information for you all to see. All of my time. Thanks for your time. I'm out.
Thank you. That's okay. We got it. We got it. You're gonna need that for your toilet.
It's too much.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. Just a reminder for everyone, State of the City address next week, the 18th, Hyatt LAX, 11:30 to 2:30. And also, let's be mindful of this. Rent control is not a good thing. There are 15 cities in the state that have rent control, and I've said this before. One is cheaper than Inglewood, and that's Palm Springs. You have to look at both sides, the owners and the renters as well. And Inglewood has been so far undervalued for all these years. All they're doing is coming up to market rate. The problem is not just Inglewood, it's California as a whole. And matter of fact, it's across the United States. We cannot be selfish and just put this on Inglewood. Look at what's going on in the whole United States. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Butts and
Good
City Council.
afternoon.
Hi.
Hi.
We've heard time and time again my personal situation. I work, do independent contracting for Sony. I'm fine. I am displaced right now. I was a long-term. I was born in Inglewood. Went to school in the Valley. Came back here to establish some type of grounding for my son. He's graduated already, but we're still unstable. Had to move in February because a big global company came in and served the notices despite the rodent problem. And instead of them handling that and dealing with the residents appropriately, saying, hey, we think there's a problem because they were new owners, we need to put you guys up in a hotel for a couple of days, they decided to do the rent increases, which forced a lot of people out. I'm one of them. I don't have a big family. I don't have anyone else to fall back on. I am the breadwinner of my family, but I can't do that when I have to focus on moving, and now I'm into the second move in less than 3 months. I'm scrambling. I want to plant myself here. I want my son to be able to work here. I want to be able to contribute, but I can't, and it's falling on deaf ears. It really, really is, and it's not a kick to you guys. I'm not saying that. I just don't understand. So maybe rent control is not the best term. How about rent stabilization? How about affordable housing? How about some level of relocation? Because I'm all tapped out, completely tapped out.
Let me tell you something. I totally agree with you that renters do need to have options, and that's what the report coming back is going to address, everything that you said in one form or another. And then what the council is going to have to do is come up with something that provides balance and fairness, because providing rental housing is not the same as selling gasoline or cigarettes, because those things are by choice. So we agree with you.
Mayor, city council, and staff. I guess the word, one or two words that will find closure. That's what we have to do. Can't just string people along, false hopes, or cast bad dispersions. We need to work this out, and it looks as though you are on the right. I would dare say sympathy to all that have been displaced. I know the city will try to do the best it can, but we're not going to be able to probably provide for everyone. I don't mean to sound spirited, but folks, we got to be honest with ourselves. The day the mayor went on TV and announced somebody was moving to Inglewood, that should have been a 4-alarm fire to you. Uh-oh. $400,000. $1,500 a month rent is probably going to go to $2,500. I need to be preemptive, but it's all water under the bridge. But I told you so. Young man who I knew of but didn't know got it. Quoted as saying, you got to own the dirt under your feet. If you own the dirt under your feet, nobody can make you move nowhere. Eminent domain takes 10, 15 years. Fortunately, I'm reminded, when I was a small boy, about this place called Oklahoma City. There was Black Wall Street there. It became so valuable, so powerful, that dark forces in this country attacked it and burned it down. Laying the foundation for the second Black Wall Street end. One of our own gunned him down. I'm kind of heartbroken about that. Won't waste any more of your time. I'm praying for everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
My name is Willie A.G., and I live in the beautiful city of Inglewood. I can remember back 7, 8 years ago, could have bought the city of Inglewood for $10. You elected the right man to run the city and the council to run this city, and now it's worth billions. Where were the people complaining then? They wasn't around. Go out to Inglewood Cemetery. You could buy a plot out there for $200, $300. Now I try to buy one for $30,000. That's the city of Inglewood. That's because of the city of Inglewood, the leadership we have here. Everybody wants to live in Inglewood. But the city of Inglewood is not responsible for everybody having a place to stay. You have to do some things for yourself. You might have to move. Got to do that, you got to do it. So I feel sorry for people. Got to plan ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I know you'll work it out, absolutely.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, City Council. My name is Hazari Price, and I just wanted to thank you for the consideration you're giving to the community. The 45-day moratorium and now extending it, that didn't have to be the conversation. And I'm hopeful, I'm happy that you're hearing the voices of the community. I know Inglewood has changed. Things are growing. Development companies are coming in, and that's a great thing. But again, we were out Saturday with the building of 4949, just giving people hope and support. We will continue to do the work, stand in the gap for the community, for all of us. We're family. And I know, and I'm hopeful that you will come to a reasonable and fair solution to this housing crisis. And again, I want to say thank you for your efforts.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Jim Vaughn. I'm out of the 2nd District. I just wanted to say that, in the last 2 weeks, we lost a highway patrol officer. We lost a police officer due to violence, just mean shooting for no reason or running over him. We also lost one of our rappers. Same thing, violence. We've got to learn to live together, people. Support your police officers, support your mental health people. If you're feeling hate or disbelief, talk to a mental health specialist and have them help you. That's all I have to say.
My name is Bryce. Be real brief. We need help, and not like a affirmative action type of help. Just talking about a community, saying Inglewood's a city, a community, and it doesn't feel like a community because it's 2 teams. That's the team name, the family, and then it's another team business. People are just trying to make profit instead of actually trying to help.
Bryce, going back for a minute. When you say there's 2 teams, are you talking about people that buy for investment purposes, or are you talking about the business community in general?
Talking about investments.
And you're absolutely right that with that dynamic comes some very, very bad things that if they're not restrained, they cause people grief, and we're going to be focused on that. I just wanted you to know that. All right? All right. Okay, with that, we'll close public comment. We'll go to council comments. Council Padilla, unfortunately, Wanda Brown took a minute of your time.
That's okay, because I've got 3 minutes of Councilman Dotson's time. They gave him to me earlier. But, no, again, last Tuesday, we talked about the moratorium. We heard from folks, and we continue to hear your voices, whether you're a renter or whether you're a property owner. We hear it from both sides, as we said. And I know I have family on both sides of that issue. But when we make these decisions, make them based on what's in the best interest of our city. So when we get this staff report, trust that we're going to get into the weeds of it, and we're going to, drill down and look at what is being presented. Talked about it last week as well, that we're going to try to make it a win-win, but this is one of those situations that some folks are going to like it, some are going to hate it. But know that we're going to do our best to make sure that that decision is going to be what's in the best interest of our community. That being said, this past Saturday evening, the mayor, Councilman Morales, and I had an opportunity to attend over at the Miracle Theater. And I know Owen is here somewhere, Owen Smith, the owner. We had a morning sessions presentation, a video put together. It highlighted Lieutenant Scott Collins and also highlighted Coach Roy, who did 25 years as a coach here in Inglewood High School. And he was presented with a plaque for his 25 years of dedication
to our community, to our young men and women. And I got to tell you, I guess not guess, but he also had a CIF championship team. It was so nice to see those players that were up there that were on that CIF championship team that were there that night, and other players that showed up that played basketball for Coach Roy. So again, my hats off to Lieutenant Collins. He used to come into the gymnasium at like 5:30 in the morning before his shift so that the kids would have a place to play basketball in the morning. And then he worked out a deal with IHOP so they can go down there and get breakfast so they didn't go to school on an empty stomach. So again, kudos to Lieutenant Collins for all he continues to do, still serving on our police department. This coming Sunday at 9 a.m., we're doing our pet clinic over at the District 2 Community Center. So if you need to get your dog or cat vaccinated or you want to get them chipped, come on over to the community center, and our folks from LA County Animal Control will be there to provide that service. On the 20th of April, we're doing Earth Day here at Inglewood South Lawn, and part of that is one of the best jazz concerts you're ever going to want to be at. So I hope to see everybody here for that. Earth Day, you see the flyer up there, all the entertainment, all the top acts, top bands, performers that'll be there. So we'll see you on the 20th. The tennis courts at North Park, as the ones at Darby, are all being redone. I want to thank Parks and Rec, Sabrina Barnes. The ones also at North Park, we're going to have pickleball courts there as well. That's something that the residents have been asking for, and now we're going to have them. They should be done by the end of April. So, come on out and play pickleball. I've never even seen it played, so I'm interested to see how they do that. Talked about rent stabilization. This is a great opportunity. First-time home buyer program. I expect it to be standing room only. Standing room only. So please come out and take advantage of this opportunity. So with that being said, thank you all for coming out and enjoy the rest of your week.
Councilman Franklin, District 4.
Well, now that the councilman has taken Councilman Dotz's time, his time, and part of my time, I will just simply say that this council is well known for tough love. And this council is the ones that does not believe in kicking the can down the road, but taking action promptly. So we are doing our due diligence for this moratorium. We ask for your perseverance and the tough love decisions that we're going to be making. And be mindful, as you've heard before, that we're trying to make it as much as possible as a win-win, but more importantly, we have to identify that we have to represent for this city to continue to move forward. But to move forward, that our family, as you heard earlier, which is our family, also has to be part of the process for us to embrace one another. And on that note, have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Morales.
Thank you. First, let me thank you, Chris, for coming out. The McAtees have been around for longer than my family, and we grew up playing on the same park, which is now getting redone. Got a call from one of your brothers who jokingly asked that it be called McAtee Park going forward, saying how much time you guys put into that park, and I remember it, man. So, I feel it when you say that so many of our mutual friends and family have been impacted. The mayor was right when he said, that retroactively it's difficult to enforce a law. We are looking into every opportunity that we can to help the residents as much as we can. A balance is important. A balance is important. Now, no later than probably noon today, I know my office received a phone call from the other side, from a property owner who described the efforts made and the sacrifices made to purchase a small second property for her and her husband when they first got married, and how they are going to be impacted negatively if this goes through. So there's stories on both sides that we must balance, and we have to assume that as our city improves, the amenities will improve, and that impacts every price that we have here in the city of Inglewood. That being said, we're trying to do the best we can to balance an ordinance that shares the burden with all of us. And we'll do that within our legal authority and within the lines we have. So you'll start seeing some of that coming up here soon. I can tell you that so many of us, all of us up here, have been thinking about how the changes in the city have been impacted and, you know, what that means and what we can do. By evidence of that, you can see the first-time homebuyers program, which was an idea that was born really by this need. We wish we could offer it for everybody, but it's a start. All of our projects are now being looked at for low-income opportunities for low-income housing. That's specifically came out of the need we started to see. And now you see the ordinance we're working on for the rent control, rent stabilization, how we can affect positively the issues that we're seeing today. So those are three direct responses that this council has used to address this need. But I can tell you that that's also proven consistently, weekly, based on comments, based on letters, based on phone calls, how we will never be able to do enough. It's a very somber reality because we continue to do things to help it, knowing that we won't be able to solve everybody's problems. So our best effort is being put forward on that, and hopefully we will see it soon here for you guys to take a look at. Going on, the Morning Sessions documentary, big congratulations to Lieutenant Collins. The impact to the community that he had was extreme. The gentlemen that were there, grown men, really fond of everything he's done, so we're proud of him. And it was just nice to see how much it meant to him. So with that, Mayor, I just want to thank everybody for coming out.
All right, finish up on Scott Collins. I actually hired him here when I was in the police department. I was a captain. He was an SEO, a special enforcement officer, directed traffic for the forum. He later became a police officer and put him in the PAL program, Police Activities League, and he was always a champion for kids. And then concurrent with that, though, he became an assistant coach with Inglewood High, and he would come before his day watch shift and open up the gym 6 a.m. to get the kids, and particularly the ones that didn't have fathers, together for early practice. And that team would go on to win a CIF championship, and that team had Paul Pierce on it. So congratulations to Scotty. It was a great event. You know, I often go through the list of things that we have coming here, you know, Super Bowl and C2A championship, yada, yada. But you know what? We had a big hole in 2025. We had the Clippers opening the arena in 2024, FIFA World Cup in 2026, but we didn't have anything for 2025. Well, I opened the paper today, and we're one of the final sites to be considered for WrestleMania. We're going to have something for everybody. We're going to have something for everybody. I thought you'd find that humorous. Now, I'm going to piggyback on what the councilmen have said about the housing protection ordinance. The reality is that what we intend to do, we intend to do it better than anyone that does it, because that's what we do here in Inglewood. We do things better than anyone does it. And so while we won't have all the answers, I think we'll be more comprehensive than other places. Now, one of the benefits of what we've been able to accomplish is we provided more jobs. People do make more money here on the average than they did in years past. We have 3,000 people every day going to work on that construction site. What we've done with our financial picture is nothing sort of amazing. When I took office, our bonds were rated at BBB. The definition of BBB is Security currently appears insufficient, but may be unreliable over the long term. If you go fall one step lower than triple B, they're non-investment grade bonds. And we had millions of dollars in bonds that were let under that bond rating. Well, it's like your FICO score. You pay more interest when you're a risky bond. Well, we refinanced those bonds just recently, and they went out at A+ and AA. And the definition is bonds are of the high quality by all standards. What does that mean, though, to people? Well, we just talked about spending $2 million on a first-time homebuyers program. You know what we're saving in interest this year from that refunding of those bonds? We're saving $2 million in interest payments. $1 million next year. That's what credit worthiness can do. Everything that we do to bring business and commerce to the city brings more money to the general fund. It gives us more opportunity to do things for our residents, for our kids, money we spend on library hours, our parks, to maintain our parks, for tennis programs. We have a tennis program at Edward Vincent Park now, and we're going to pour a bunch of money into a clubhouse and the refurbishing of those tennis courts. So all these things that we're doing, they come together. One byproduct of success is that finally Inglewood shares in the same success as the region does when it comes to housing value increases. The reality is that we never, if you were in Inglewood and you owned a home, you couldn't expect that you were going to leave your children anything. You're going to be lucky if it paid off the mortgage when you passed. And now we have an opportunity for generational wealth for our residents. That's huge. You get the same thing that people in Beverly Hills, Torrance, and Manhattan Beach. Why don't you deserve that? And so we're going to try and ameliorate the impacts of what? Apartments in Inglewood going for market rate. That's what's happening here. But we want to put the brakes on so that people have options. And that's what this report's going to be about. That's why it's called housing protection instead of rent control or rent stabilization, because it takes into account the fact there are people that have owned properties for a long time and rented very low, and that they finally have the opportunity to get market rate rents. And so we can't just say one size fits all. You people that waited, you get nothing. But the people that come here and invest and they think they're going to clear out apartment buildings, it's not going to happen. And I said it's not going to happen. And it's not going to be allowed to continue to happen. So we have to bear in mind that things we talk about at council meetings now are far different than what we talked about 7 years ago. I'm going to tell you that right now. I used to have a gentleman come in here and he'd say, you're on a slippery slope. You're $1 billion of debt and you're going to go bankrupt. I remember that. He'd come in every week and say that. Our bonds went out at AA and A+. So we're doing some things right, and we're going to try and do the best we can when it comes to housing protection. And that's a promise from the council. But anyway, with that, we're adjourned.